Hi there everyone. Today we have a very special guest. It's Bob Clagett from I Like to Make Stuff. This is a brilliant YouTube channel. You should check it out if you haven't already. Always putting together all sorts of, often carpentry, but also sometimes electronic gizmos and things like that. Just like making stuff. Yeah. Rupert here from the Royal Society Library has dug out something very special and we're very excited to show you. We think this is one of the ultimate maker challenges. So we're going to show you, see what you think, get your initial reaction, see how we go. Okay. Rupert, do you want to do the honours?
I will, yes.
You come in here in the middle, into the most important place. First of all, Rupert, who is this person who we're about to talk about?
It's a gentleman called Francis Potter, who was a country parson, basically, but also an inventor on the side. Did blood transfusion experiments, looked at bees down microscopes.
You ever done any blood transfusions, Bob?
I have not.
You've got to lift your game, mate.
That's true.
You've got to lift your game. So he was an inventor. He liked to make stuff.
Yep.
Man after Bob's own heart.
Right.
Start us off
Anyway,
here.
Francis Potter is a friend of the early Royal Society fellow John Aubrey, and Aubrey brings in to the meeting a letter that Potter has written to him. Mr. Aubrey presented the company with the scheme of a, drumroll, cart with legs.
A cart with legs.
Instead of wheels.
Okay.
This is March 1663, and the next paragraph they say Mr. Francis Potter was proposed as a candidate to the Society.
Wow.
So his cart with legs has obviously made a big impression. And I've got another bookmark in, which is the follow-up to the cart with legs story, which is Mr. Hooke's account of the cart with legs, brought in by Mr. Aubrey, was read. So they give it to Robert Hooke, who was the Society's curator of experiments. So he's the guy who looks at all the plans and devices sent in these letters, sees if they're feasible, and he writes a report on it. So in this book of letters, we have the original Potter missive to the Society, and we have Hooke's criticisms of the design, shall we say.
Bob, what's going on in your head at the moment? A cart with legs. Have you got a picture?
It seems like a lot of extra work. Why would you do that?
All right. So we've seen the minutes, so we know that it was being talked about by the bigwigs. Has Potter made it or just designed it?
I think he's just designed it.
Ah, so he wants someone handy to make it for him.
Yeah.
All right.
This is Royal Society Early Letters, Volume P, ELP. So there we go. He's actually writing to John Aubrey.
Okay, so he's writing in.
He's writing in, talking about the advantages of having a cart with legs. And he just does a few basic drawings of the mechanisms.
You comfortable with all that, Bob? You can work with that?
Yeah, axles, chains, legs. You don't get the full glory in Potter's original description. It's when Hooke visualises it, we really see what it's all about. That's a pair of legs.
Okay.
So we can imagine those walking forward as the chains move around. Yeah, and he's drawn little feet on it, yeah. But yeah, he's almost drawn it as a pair of human legs there, hasn't he? With articulated knees.
Can you see how this is going to work?
Yeah. Wow. That's very simple, but that's kind of smart. So this is a spinning gear, which draws the chain back and forth, pushing the legs like this behavior. And then there's a chain in between the knees to stop them from splaying out too far. But it doesn't seem like there would be anything to force these knees to stay in the position that you want them to be. The top would always move and just kind of drag the bottom along, it seems like.
So, this is one of my favourite pictures from our early archives. This is Robert Hooke's drawing of the cart with legs.
Oh, no, look at that. Nice.
And my absolute favourite thing on this picture is Hooke's labelling here. Let H denote a horse. Just in case you were wondering.
But he gave it H as well. He's showing like
H for horse,
right.
yeah.
He's showing a sense of humour. But we've got a much better look at how this contraption works now.
I mean, yeah. But it still doesn't seem like it would work.
Yeah, Hooke immediately puts the mockers on this whole invention. So yeah, you can just about make out Hooke's writing, but there are a few difficult bits, and I've sort of written it down in modern English. The invention of the cart with legs, though it has very much of ingenious contrivance, yet 'tis conceived not practicable, and though it were yet no ways so convenient and useful as a cart with wheels. For if we suppose all the inconveniences that upon trial will be found to proceed for the several joints, springs and chains, which are very many, or from the ruggedness and inequality of the ways. So he's talking about taking this over rough roads. I do not find any provision made against the stumbling of the legs against the stones or clods, by which means the cart will be very apt to fall, and if once it be down, it will be no easy matter to raise it on its legs again, especially if the belly of the cart be full.
You don't want a cart that actually trips over like a human.
And thirdly, from its unfitness to turn, and from its aptness to slide backwards on its tail. Fourthly, and he goes on and on with these, for its aptness to sway and fall down towards the near or far side. It's not going to turn round, it's not going to go backwards, it doesn't even stop.
It's almost like he has uninvented the wheel.
Right. So what's the drive mechanism that makes these move? I mean, I understand how they move, but is it the forward motion is somehow causing them to alternate?
I've not really worked that out.
Bob, that's the question you're here to answer, not the question you're here to ask.
Well, I guess as it's pulling forward and it's going to pivot on one foot, that's going to want to lean forward like this, which will make the other leg do the opposite. Yeah, so it can't go backwards for the same reason.
The maker side of you must like have a warmth in your heart for some parson who's there sketching plans and inventing stuff.
I mean, coming up with a way to put legs on anything is something people try to do, but it's almost always a bad idea.
Yeah.
Look at Star Wars. Everything with legs, bad idea.
True.
But they're cool, so it's cool for the same reason, right?
In fact, Hooke mentions the possibility of Ewoks being able to bring down the... Do you like this drawing? Do you think Hooke's done a better job than the original?
Yeah. And actually, it's funny because just having the curve up there, where the toes were and the other, to have that curve up, makes it more usable. Because anytime it runs into something, you know, not going down, it's not going to run in, it's going to be able to sit on top of something. So that was actually probably one of the bigger improvements he did in the drawing.
What do you reckon? Could you make one of them?
I could try it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't think it'll work, but I can try it.
Do you have a horse?
No, I don't.
Oh, that would have been too good to be true. There was a happy ending for Potter though, wasn't there? Even though we've sort of derided his design a bit.
Yeah, I mean, Hooke criticises the design in the meeting, but at the end of the meeting we can see a little annotation. Sir Nicholas Crisps and Mr. Francis Potter were chosen members of the Society.
Okay.
So Francis Potter becomes a Fellow of the Royal Society in his 60s. I think some of his other experiments were probably known to the Society, the blood transfusion, the microscopy. The cart with legs is an aberration rather than a crowning achievement, I think.
Oh, wow. You didn't tell me it was this cool. Look at this. I
These look
totally
familiar.
feel like Indiana Jones right
Yeah.
now. This is amazing. Look at that. Just so you know, I don't actually need this light. I just think it looks cool.
It does look cool, come on.
So apparently, 120,000 boxes in this unit alone. Can you imagine how many videos we could make?
That's a lot of cataloguing. That's going to keep me busy for the rest of my life.
You just know the Ark of the Covenant is down one of these.
Yeah.